Well, g'day, welcome to Stu Shed. One of the particular advantages of the Torque Work Centre is that it has 6 degrees of freedom. Now 3 of those degrees, the axial ones, actually have the ability to be very much controlled, and we can either have stops or even to the ability of being able to lock one or more of those directions. And in this case, for something like this here, I'm going to be doing a quick demonstration of cutting some dados for a shelf, where I've got control over the Z-axis, and I've got a depth stop already set, and that means I can actually do a couple of passes in this case, one at an intermediate height, and then I can come down to the full depth, and that depth is locked in, and I've just got that already set. And I've got my stops already set up along the back there for the shelf positions. In this case I think I've set it for about 200mm per shelf. And in each case I can lock the X-axis travel with the brake here, so that there's no chance of the router is starting to walk off in another direction. So that's set up. I've got a straight cutter set into the router, and the speed's set. I've got my stops already set in place, so they're set for the 200mm distance between the shelves and my depth of stop. So there's nothing more now to do the cuts. Oh, and one final one. I've actually decided this is going to be a stop dado. In other words, I don't want the dado going all the way through the board and coming out the other side, because I don't want to actually see breakout of at the front of the shelving unit. And so I've set my another stop here so that the router bit can go along, but it will actually stop short of breaking out the other side. So here you can see I've then managed very quickly and easily to cut a number of dados. They're all stop dados, so there's I can put a shelf in there and still not have the dado actually showing through the front of the board. I've got the spacing, and it's very consistent, so I can bring another board in now and cut another set, and then another set, and then another set very, very easily. One last thing, if you're wondering about how to do boards that were longer than actually the workbench you've got, particularly if you've got one of the shorter ones, there's no reason why you can't then move this entire board along, move your router back to the starting position, and use the last dado you cut as a reference for your first cut of the next set. So in this case here, that would be my start. I could then lock the board in place again, then move up to my next stop and cut the next one and repeat along. And I could just keep on doing that all day if I liked, and just go as far as I wanted with stop dados. Now that may be fine for dados, but obviously you're not restricted to that. If you're using a circular saw and you're doing kerfing or something like that, you'd have the same sort of control. Or if you wanted to drill a number of holes, for example for a shelf unit that had the movable shelves, you could have your drill mounted in this and be doing the same steps again. And in something like that, you'd bring both stops in, and so you have your left and your right hand stops. It's for the holes that are left and right on the board. And again, you could just be doing that, index along, cut the next two, index along, cut the next two. It'd be very, very easy to rinse and repeat that operation as well. Now just while I was doing the stop dado cut, one final thing did occur to me, and that's how to do a double stop dado. I've got my first stop already set up for the end of the cut, and I've got my second stop board in for the start of the cut. My depth of plunge has been set by my plunge stop here, and so I can bring it up to my first, plunge in, and move on between the two stops. And so what I'll do now is a series of 3 double stop dados, just to see how easy that operation is. And you can see from that quick demonstration just how easy it is for me to produce a double stop dado with very, very little effort. It's pretty much no harder than actually doing a single stop dado or just a complete through dado.